Hey guys, it's the Diesel Queen here. As you know, I did receive a few components from Synergy. Over the course of the next few days, while I wait on another tall jack stand to be able to support the frame for the long arm kit, we're going to be doing the steering components that Synergy sent me. We're going to be doing this step by step as per their manual, and I'm going to explain all the steps in their manuals. And yeah, this is going to be a full-on installation procedure, so let's get to it. Alright, so the first thing to do is obviously get it up on jack stands. It's best to support the axle and then remove your tires. This just makes it a lot easier, and it makes measuring easier as well. We are going to be taking out the stock steering and the track bar. So the first step in the instructions given from Synergy is to remove the steering stabilizer or steering damper. I tried to get it removed from this bar, but I could not get it removed, so I'm going to replace that anyways. So I just decided to remove it from the truck itself and leave it on the tie rod. Again, I'm going to be replacing that with a new one anyways, so it doesn't even matter. The second step here is to measure from grease zerk to grease zerk on your tie rod. You're supposed to be measuring from the center of the grease zerk to the center of the grease zerk, but because I'm by myself, I'm going to hook it on the grease zerk. This is fine to do it this way, as long as you measure it exactly the same going back together with the new tie rod. So I measured this out. I don't remember the exact specification, but I did type that into my phone notes, so I had that for future reference. The next step is going to be loosening and removing the tie rods themselves. It's suggested from Synergy to loosen the nuts and then leave them threaded on. As you can see, you can usually just hammer on these and they will pop right out. If not, you can use a tie rod puller for those, but for me, they just popped right out with the hammer. Here's a non-sped up version of it. As you can see, it just popped right out. And I'm going to leave that supported to make it easier to remove the tie rod from the pitman arm tie rod. So I tried 1,000 different pullers that I have to get that off. I'm not going to make you guys watch that. I ended up going to O'Reilly's and just getting a pitman arm puller, and that is what ended up working, was the actual pitman arm puller. And that actually just popped it right off. It was really easy. I did try to hammer that and it did not work. So this tool just made it easier. I actually ended up buying that tool. And then obviously once you get that down, you can remove everything else that has been loosened, and you can remove the entire steering system from the truck all in one piece. This is how it's suggested to do it from Synergy themselves. And this is junk because we are going to be putting the Synergy components on. So the next thing we're going to be removing is the track bar. Synergy has great instructions for this as well. You can remove each side of they're pretty easy to remove, actually. I just removed this as well so I could install it first, so the steering components were not in the way and it would be easier. I also have a new one of these from Synergy as well. These bushings were pretty worn out, so it was pretty easy to get this out. I definitely needed a new one. The stock one is also non-adjustable, so. And that is done, and Stay tuned for part 2, which will be installation of the Synergy components.